And to which Chris goes, let's take a break.
Let's take a break and clean this up. No, there's an interesting story about Chris Patton's belch. And it did not make it into the final cut. There was, we talked about, Chris Patton was very upset. No, it wasn't Pirate upset.
Okay.
It was somebody steals Hiroshi.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is this moment. Chris Patton expressed how very upset he was over the fact that in Revenge of the Nerds, when Booger lets fly that monumental belch, it's not Curtis Armstrong. It is actually a camel slowed down and played backwards.
Like way bigger than
well. Anyway, so we were talking about that, and Chris is always belching in the booth, and the engineer is always trying to catch it. Well, we caught the tag end of one of his belches. And we were like, save that, we'll drop that in his bombs for Hannah and other. So he didn't know he had left you that bomb. That was for me and Brent.
Oh.
So there's this moment where Sanako is going crazy, and she goes, ah, and it's great. And I said, hold on a minute. I said, take Patton's belch, put it there. So they put his belch on. I said, reverse it. I said, pitch it all the way up. It created this very surreal sound that nearly made me cry every time I heard it. And I'm like, does it work? Does it work? So I kept both takes until Matt got back from Japan, and I said, Matt, I don't know. Matt and I sat there for 10 minutes listening to both.
I love that Matt Greenfield listened to my gasp.
Matt's like, that is funny. Let me hear the other one. And we talked for this. Okay. Now let me hear the first one. We finally ended up going with actually what Hannah did.
Along those lines, I found out recently that my belches have been used as many, many monsters and demons in ADV and Funimation productions. Because apparently there's an engineer named Jason Grundy, oh god, who is a master at catching things that you, like sometimes like in between takes you'll be like, you'll start singing ABBA or something. He's caught it, he'll play it back for you and you're like, oh man. So he has like a whole, he has a file of my belches. And he said, oh, we got it, oh, we have a demon here. And he like slows the belches down. Apparently my gas is everywhere.
My favorite Grundy was like from Dallas. And Mike had said something, and he had not pushed the button down wherever it is. And I couldn't hear him. And I said, what? And Mike explained it. And then all of a sudden I heard myself go, what? And Mike started to re-explain it. And the minute he finished, you heard me say, what? And Mike was getting angrier and angrier. And I was looking out the window at it. Until he finally realized it was Grundy just going, what? What?
And now Grundy's a director.
And now he's a director.
He's a lot of fun.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah. Another question.
Do you ever find yourselves just like randomly getting embarrassed? Just getting very self-conscious all of a sudden? I mean, I know you guys have been doing this for a while, so would you ever just have one of those moments where you just get real picky on yourself and just kind of like either embarrassed or self-conscious?
Are you talking about at a con or while we're recording?
No, while you're recording.
While we're recording?
You're like...
The only time that happens
when you're trying to find
is if no. The only time, I don't know about you guys, the only time, because we're so used to making asses of ourselves.
Right.
On a
We come from theater.
Yeah, we're from live theater, you know. So, but sometimes like you'll be working in the booth and a director will be like, okay, now for a minute and 20 seconds over this cut, I need you to ad-lib as a British giraffe talking about your underwear. And he's like, okay, go, and time is money. And you're like, oh, holy crap. And yeah, that gets me a little self-conscious sometimes.
See, that's why I don't do stuff like that. I just give people, when I do wall, I just give them a situation and say go.
I love doing Walla for him because he will say, Chris Patton, I need you to do Walla. And I'm like, sweet. Because he will let me talk about whatever I want.
Meat on the stick.
Meat on a
Oh my
stick.
god.
Yeah, I played that for everybody. We had this like 10-minute wall session in another show. It was like 7 minutes. And Chris Patton he was somebody who was at this festival looking for meat on a stick. And he sang songs about it, and talked about it, and it just went on and on and on. And so then there's a cut away to another scene, and it comes back to the carnival, and he was the same guy who would eat way too much meat on a stick. Everybody who came in to record for that show, other people got it.
Red Weaver!
Oh, yeah.
Hey, did you get your Jeep?
I got my Jeep.
Awesome.
Sorry, my Jeep was ready. It got me. I wouldn't have gotten it now.
Introduce yourself and say who you play.
Hi, my name's Brett Weaver, and this is the Wallflower.
Yes.
Yes.
I am the mysterious voice that you hear. That does.
It says,
The road to womanhood! Most offensive Asian-tinged accent. Only Mike McFarland can do one more.
Another question. Yeah.
How many cans of those do you drink a day?
How many cans or how many cups of these?
How many
The
cans?
60. I have no idea how many cans go in. I usually drink anywhere from 6 to 7. It takes, depending on how much ice, 3 to 4 cans to fill it. So it varies on the amount of ice. But I do about at least 5 to 7 of these a day. But I'm hypoglycemic. I need the sugar. So. It keeps me from crashing.
There's someone
Hypoglycemia.
applauding hypoglycemia.
better than having diabetes.
Another question. Wait, hand back there.
Me?
Oh, but actually no. You had done one, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Okay,
She's
let me go
new
with
to
the girl
the
first. Yeah,
Yes. What is Wallflower actually about?
Holy moly.
Is that different from yourself, like the regular It's about wearing like flowers.
It's already stereo.
About
They're very pretty people.
It's basically 4 very pretty boys.
It's Queer Eye for the goth girl. And none of them are gay. It's Pygmalion.
It's Pygmalion, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a twisted, non-machine version of Pygmalion. Trying to turn all My Fair Lady without the music.
With less awful Cockney accent.
Yes.
That's awful.
Okay, question back here. You had your hand up earlier.
Oh, me?
And I told you no.
He's like, I don't have one.
She did the red
I'm sorry. Sorry, they went with her.
Go.
Sorry.
Do you guys have to do anything special to get into character before you record?
Do you just make that face for a
I
while?
literally have to drive from Austin to Houston. Not because I live here. That's just what I have
That's
to
part of
do.
your process.
That's part of my process. And I have to bring my dog with me.
Yes. Yay.
That is true.
Puppy.
It's either Bob, my dog Bob, comes with me, or Dee Dee, because I usually work on the weekends
Yes.
at the studio, and because they're cool like that. And I'm like, can I bring my dog? They're like, only
Sure.
if it's Bob or Dee Dee. It's like, okay, great. So,
Yes.
I think a quasi-legitimate answer to that question for me is that maybe the first couple of times you work on a new show, you do have to go through some kind of actorish stuff. But I think once you've been working on a show for a long time, it's just muscle memory. You're just there. Like I would just see Kyohei and I'd be like, oh man, sure. Like
You know, a lot of times when we start a show, when we come in to record for the second time or the third time, they will play us a reference. And basically they'll take a line from an earlier recording of that character and just to remind us. Because everybody up here does a lot of different roles in a lot of different shows. And sometimes it's easy to remind me exactly what does he sound like again? So a lot of times they'll have a reference line for us to give us an idea, help us remember what